This video is for the week, the end of the week numbers for last week. Today is Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, so I'm late on bringing these numbers, but I was on vacation at the end of last week. If anybody was following the videos that I had posted, I took a travel trailer, I picked it up on Thursday morning, stopped home, grabbed the family, and I stopped off in the Wisconsin Dells, and then I continued on about an hour up to Wisconsin Rapids to deliver a travel trailer, and then came back and spent the rest of the time at the Dells. So it worked out nicely. That load pays decently. It was like $770. So a little bit obviously inconvenient because I had to stop at the Dells, drop the family off, keep going, but I definitely think it was worth it getting that extra $770. I was headed in that direction anyways. And then I was talking with my financial advisor, and he was saying I should be able to write off one night stay at the hotel and 3 meals. So that also, and then obviously the miles back and forth. So all in all, definitely I think it was worth it. As far as the numbers go, I only worked 3 days last week, did 3 loads. So I did one to Madison, Wisconsin, that pays $560. One to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, pays $570, and then I did that Wisconsin Rapids, paid $770. So in total, the gross for last week was $1,900. As far as fuel goes, I was at get my light down here because it's dark. Fuel goes, I was at $387.39, which is down, I think, from last week. It does seem like fuel prices are coming down a little bit. Tolls, I was up a little bit. I was at $205, I believe. Actually, I don't think that does count the Skybridge, so I don't know why I spent so much on tolls. I gotta look at that a little closer. But I did count up the tolls unless I added some extra that I shouldn't have. It looked like it was at 205. And then I always take out $30 for insurance and $100 for maintenance. So let's see. I'm trying to see what my numbers. Yeah, so the way that I calculated out, my net ended up being $1177.61. So that's after the $387.39 in fuel, $205 in tolls, $100 in maintenance to set aside, and $30 for the unladen insurance. So see if I can double check that number a little bit here. 387 plus 205 would be 592.39, 692.39 with the 100 in maintenance, and then the 30, so 692 plus 30, 722.39 off of the 1900. Yeah, so that came out correctly, 1177.61. So obviously not the best net profit for the week. It seems like expenses were a little high, even though the fuel was a little bit lower, but because I only did the 3 loads, obviously fuel is going to be less if I'm only doing 3 loads versus 4, but then the gross is also probably going to be less. Normally I'm trying to cap over that 2,000 mark. I was just shy of that, but I think like the week before I was at 2,400. So yeah, that 2,450 or something like that for gross was a lot the week before. So but that was with 4 loads. So 3 loads, 1,900 down to 1177.61. Roughly 31 hours worth of work. So I guess some would say part-time, some might say that's semi-full-time. I don't know how you look at it. I look at that 3 days, 31 hours. I look at that as a part-time job. So I guess if you look at netting 1177.61 off of work in 3 days, it's not terrible, but it's also not, amazing. I knew I wasn't gonna have the best week because I could only run 3 loads, so here's what it is. Still puts money in my pocket. My business, this is still slow season for it, so it's not like I could go do my business and just make more money. If I wasn't doing RV transport, I'd be sitting at home. So I think that all in all, this gives me the freedom that I'm looking for. Makes a decent living. As I always say, I'm not getting rich. I'm not gonna get rich off of RV transport, but it's kind of helping in between my business being slow this time of year and having something. It's either this or something else, and honestly I'd rather be doing this. So I'm pretty happy with it. This week I'll be trying to run 4 loads, so hopefully the gross will be a little bit higher. We'll see. I already know 3 of my loads, but I'm going to be making a video on that, so stay tuned for that. But obviously we'll do the weekend earnings after these loads of this week. So other than that, that's pretty much all I have. I did actually do maintenance on the truck this week so to look at the $100 I set aside a week for maintenance, I did fuel filters and oil change this week. I spread out the oil change margin to 10,000 miles this time. Oil still looked good. My truck still showed that it had 30% oil life. 10,000 miles was roughly 35 days for me. So, I think I'm going to push that 10,000 mile mark, so I'm not doing oil changes every 3 weeks. If I can stick to 4 weeks at the end of the year, that's going to save me a bit on maintenance. Fuel filter wise, I do it every other oil change. So this time around, it ended up being about 18,000 miles on my fuel filters. They both looked fine. Probably could push that out farther, but I think I'll probably stick with it. I guess let me know what you think if you're driving a 6.7 Power Stroke. How far do you push the oil and fuel filters? Also, let me know what you think of the gross and net profits this week. If you think I'm nuts for continuing to do it, let me know. If you're in RV transport and your numbers look similar, let me know. Keep in mind that these are shorter loads. I'm home every night, so I know I could probably make more money, if I were to work for a company that has longer hauls that I could take further, but that doesn't work with my family life right now. So I think the shorter loads makes more sense for my family life. I like to be home every night to be with my kids. So that's my main reasoning in doing these shorter loads that don't pay as high. The pay per mile is higher than a lot of guys are getting. It's just that I'm not doing a lot of miles. So also I'd like to hear in the comments as far as like how many miles do you drive per month with RV transport? Specifically if you're doing like longer hauls, I wonder how that compares to 35 days at 10,000 miles for me. Is that like nothing for guys that are doing longer hauls, or is it kind of evening out? It'd be interesting to know, like, if you're running one 2,500 mile load a week versus my multiple loads that are reaching 2,500 miles in a week. That's obviously loaded and deadhead together. So that's all I got for now. Like I said, I'll make another video going over my loads for the week. And that's it for now.